Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Steve with Sensus Fidelium coming at you on the 3rd of August, 2026, in the year of our Lord, 10:26 p.m. Hope you are doing great wherever you are. I forgot to do the right StreamYard key, so I just got the alert. My bad on anybody's StreamYard. I'll try that. I'll do that better next time. Mea culpa, mea culpa. Anyway, happy finding of St. Stephen's relics. I guarantee I can swing a dead cat, and most people would have no idea what in the wide world of sports I am even talking about. Reason, unless you go to a daily TLM, and when I say and Father says gives a daily sermon, I would say 40%, 30% chance you may heard about this, maybe 20. Maybe I'm going high. Maybe the only reason I even have it on the channel is because what happened was Father at the time got transferred into our parish, and I reached out to him, bring him over for dinner, and then I don't tell anybody what I do. Back then, I was just at 100,000 subscribers. I'm doing Uber 5 days a week. Getting up at 4 a.m, driving, not doing any. I've heard people that hate the channel. I had to fight to make sure I didn't get beat up by lay members, and priests even contacted me saying they were totally cool with everything. But there's been a lot of haters since the beginning. So I didn't tell. I usually would never. I didn't. People might go up, hey, you know what I do? I still am not like that. Anyways, I kind of sneak in. Father, what do you think about this? Or no, it wasn't like that. Yeah, what do you think about this? No, he asked. So do you run for Sensus Fidelium? I looked at him and go, depends. Are you a fan or not? And he said he was a fan, like we're doing. I go, all right, we're cooking with chicken grease. We start saying, what do you think? What about this? What about that? We were game planning for the next hour. He calls me up the next day. What do you think we need to do? What do you think needs to be on there? I go, Saints of the Day. We need more Saints of the Day. People love saint stories. He was all right. We're gonna do that. So he started doing Saints of the Day sermons, and he loved it because it made him research all the Saints of the Day. So he would do Saints of the Day sermons, send it our MP3, and send it to me. We were moving and grooving, like cooking like chicken grease for a few years like that. Anyway, this was one of them that I told him. It wasn't the first one, but it was one of the first. But it was one of those, like, you have to do this. I was like, Garnier writes about it. You have to do this. He read it. I don't think he knew about it at the time. Loved it. Fantastic. So I remember sitting in the pew, listening to it, going, oh man, this is so good. I'm just grinning from ear to ear. Everyone's captivated because nobody's ever heard it. And so yeah, it's if you look on the channel itself, you see 5 or 6. And they're ranging from 1,000 to 2,000 views. So even for this, it's barely viewed on. But it's one of the cooler stories you'll ever hear. And it's how they found St. Stephen's relics. Most people know about all the sins of the Pope. I guarantee I can swing a dead cat. And I can go into I guarantee I can go into most tribe parishes. And probably 90% won't know what this is. Go listen to them. Trust me, it's worth it. And I've already put them up in the community chat. So if community posts, if you're at the channel, you'll see in the community section, I posted all. I got one more. I was going to not redo, but make another thumbnail for and upload it in the community chat. It's on X. So if you're on Facebook, you got the Sensus Fidelium Facebook, Gab, the community center there, Twitter. You got X. I posted up on there. There's no reason that shouldn't have a ton more views, but most people don't know, don't care, or what. Hey, you know how many big names you know how many big names in the Catholic world have posted about it, or dare I say retweet a sermon like this? 0. So, if it was about the papacy, it was about Francis or Leo doing something terrible, I guarantee it would have 100,000 reshares. But alas, that's how we are right now. But anyway, check it out. I promise you won't be disappointed on those. It's a great one. And not just because I love St. Stephen and I'm named after St. Stephen and I picked them for a confirmation sake. Yes. Anyway. Yeah. Well, Mark, get on there. When I hear someone say hallelujah, I think of the ones, wow, hallelujah to the royal. Anyways. But speaking of singing, why don't we start off this show with the national anthem?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed?
This is the women's professional baseball league.
Last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the
This is not the Onion.
perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the
Good color you
rockets
do it.
red glare, the bombs bursting in air,
I should be more respectful.
through the night that our flag was still there.
Oh, no, anybody's not cracking up.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet
The lady had second base like, well, that's better than last week.
or the land of the free and the home of the brave.
I hear dogs hollering in the background. Do you hear that? I heard that mercy. One time we were back in the Wooden Bat League days. It was always fun when you had a kid ask you for an autograph. They brought you a bat and brought you a couple balls that they have foul balls. You sign them. It's cool. When we had one of our buds, Tony, he had Tourette's, and we were always showing, my brother and I and him. Everyone would joke with each other, especially him and them two. And he started grunting the national anthem one time. And you see how them lined up. So we're lined up on the third base line, and we're on like the last third of it. So he starts grunting the anthem. We're almost on the ground laughing. He's laughing because we're laughing. Everyone else thinks we're going to hell because we're laughing at the guy with Tourette's. But it was like an inside joke with all of it. So I'm crying, dying, just hysterically laughing. It was like, what is wrong with these people? Well, I'll tell you. Anyways, there's always some fun national anthem stories to go around. Oh, get back in the clownish times.
The simple fact, Trump is a really bad candidate, and frankly, I think a really bad person. The simple fact is, he's the best president of my lifetime.
And you know how you make America great again? Tell Donald Trump to go to hell. To President Trump, you saved the world. God bless you.
And Donald is indicating the fear that keeps him up at night when he lashes out with anger. Donald, you're a sniveling coward.
What I like best about President Trump is his courage and fearlessness.
There is no way we are going to allow a con artist to take over the conservative movement, and Donald Trump is a con artist.
Don't play games with this president's in office because it's not going to turn out well.
Trump is a really bad candidate.
JD looks a little thinner with a beard, doesn't he? Here's a link on Tired of Bad News. It's called goodnews.eu. Now, it's not perfect because a lot of it, sometimes you'll see some environmental, not job stuff in there, but there's been some pretty good stuff in there. As like, they recycled everything? Oh, man. Well, that's dumb. This is supposed to be about Uganda is Ebola free. It says in the URL. It just, some reason it's not popping up. This one is supposed to be Daily England. Or was it already popped off? How'd that happen? England rewards daily walks. Blood tests could save endomytosis diagnosis. Porto introduces free public transit swab tests. Detects oral cancer in record time. I don't know how I feel about that. That was rough. I heard her on radio today. No, yes. Yes, Trevin, this is Sensus Fidelium. Hi, I'm Steve. Thank you for coming in. This is called Clown Planet. I just put up a bunch of news stories. Try to have some fun with it. News, the stories that you will not find. I guarantee I bet 90% of the stuff I'm going to pull up you're not seen before, unless you're following alternate media. And we'll bring some Catholic version on stuff like this. But my main purpose, I told a friend of mine today that everything that was going on in Morocco, I mentioned, I go, this is why I'm doing this, because none of the Catholic media guys are going to bring up what I'm bringing up. And I don't know why, because I know that, well, they are team. I know why. They're team party politics guys, and they don't want to, they got to be partisan. So I'm not. I think both parties are equally worthless. Just like there was a great line by one apologist says, I treat politicians like I treat diapers, and for the same reasons. Anyways, Sweden to ban PFAS, the forever drugs, in everyday products starting in 2028. And they also go in with indigenous people plant 10 trees, woohoo, or 10,000 trees. Now, thou shalt not steal, right? This has become a major thing all over the world. May not have heard what's going on.
There's been a major police blitz on shoplifting, with retail theft hitting an all-time high across New South Wales. More than 100 people were arrested. Shops in Parramatta, Chatswood and Hornsby, the top pick for thieves.
My apologies,
bro. A Tuesday afternoon in Penrith, a teenager walks into a designer store, then casually grabs loot with a hefty price tag.
Had some theft. Some boys came in, tried to steal a bunch of shirts, about $2,870 worth.
He looks for the exit. Renee has other ideas.
Adrenaline rush sort of just hit me. Didn't feel nothing till the end. Got him to the ground, threw him through some doors.
Retail theft has surged in New South Wales, up by more than 10% this year alone. To take the upper hand, Operation Percentile went into action.
We have a zero tolerance to any offending in the retail sector.
This operation targeting the hotspots: Parramatta, Chatswood, Hornsby, Penrith, Mount Druitt and Blacktown. In this two-day operation, police arrested 116 people, laying 130 charges.
You will be taken to court, you will be fined, you will be arrested if you continue to commit offences.
People going to work, doing their job and being violently attacked by criminals wanting to knock stuff off in their store is just not on, and we're not copping a bar of it.
While retail theft might be the focus of Operation Percentile, it's what comes next that also concerns police. Petty theft, the start of the crime cycle, which often leads to more high-risk offending and organised crime.
There is a consequence for them. They need to understand that it's unacceptable to commit any crime, let alone to go into further crime.
Liam Tapper.
The gateway drug.
A theft ring recently. Big box stores are taking controversial new steps to prevent crimes like this. A theft ring recently targeting Home Depots in 9 states.
This crew was amazingly coordinated, disciplined, meticulous, and dedicated.
Millions in merchandise stolen. Now, Home Depot and Lowe's are among the stores installing special cameras in their parking lots with automated license plate readers, hoping to boost safety. Some critics have raised privacy concerns as law enforcement embraces this technology.
They're literally tracking everybody that passes, whether you're in violation of a law or not.
The cameras, which capture license plate numbers, date, time, and location, are increasingly being used by police, but civil rights groups worry the technology could be used to target suspected undocumented workers or women seeking reproductive health care. Home Depot and Lowe's insist they do not share information.
Have you heard that one yet? That was the first time I heard that they're targeting people that are trying to have abortion. Where did that? You talk about coming out of left field with that one.
Information with third parties. Lowe's saying it only discloses your personal information if required by law or legal process. Home Depot saying we do not grant access to our license plate readers to federal law enforcement. But experts say with tens of thousands of cameras now installed across the country, adding more license plate readers will help law enforcement build what could become a nationwide mass surveillance system.
They can literally trace almost exactly where I've been just by
in the parking lot of Lowe's. You know, that lady might be going to get an abortion at Lowe's. What?
connecting all of the different data points based upon that license plate number. I can find out where somebody lives just based upon tracking their data. They can recreate my morning probably better than I can recreate my morning.
Oh, yeah, of course I can. Again, this is about shoplifting that's going on. Low trust Canada. So far we've had the States, Australia, Canada. Grocery stores are locking up meat and cheese. Now this shoplifting is north of $10 billion a year, while regular Canadians skip meals because they can't afford food. Carney's out there bragging that life is more affordable under the Liberals, which again is Tea Party politics up there too. Peak liberal gaslighting. The country's turning into food locker dystopia, and they're still running victory laps. There's shoplifting on the rise as cost of living mounts. Again, this is why we're talking about this now, because it's happening everywhere in the States too. People are stealing food left and right because it costs so darn much. Only 2% of small business owners say crime has declined in their community in the past year. Calgary heralds significant rise in grocery theft amid affordability issues, social disorder. Customers are fed up with anti-theft measures at stores. Retailers say organized crime is the blame. You know, because they're getting the Snicker bars is what they're doing. Industrial group says retail is the new frontier for organized criminal gangs. The new mob has baloney. Can't get that bread there. They might come up with some, how's this in the chat? Since organized crime is the new food thing, come up with some cool mobster names for the food mob. Organized crime groups are behind grocery store theft across Canada. Because when I think of organized crime, I think one, Canada, and two, the food industry. Like again, when they get is. Can't sell pistachios here, man. The pistachio gang will get you. Zucchini family. I'm thinking of now Larry's a cucumber, but he did mention that in the zucchini land. The mayor was a zucchini. Man. Mother and daughter have been charged with operating an international stolen merchandise ring from an East Elmhurst apartment and Valley Stream home that was also a daycare. Targeted retailers include Macy's, Victoria's Secret, Marshalls, TJ Maxx, Home Depot, CVS, and Ulta Beauty. Daddy, what the baloney bourgeoisie? Spammer McSpammy pants. Cucumber family, zucchini family, right? That was a good one. But the cucumber family is like their cousin. The cutlet fellas. More Canada. Oh no, it's already had this. So this was a double up one. Okay. Let's see what's the next one. Time to pass Corca. This is where it comes. The Hamburglers. Yeah. Might as well. I mean, that's a classic. Canadian bacon. No, there's already an inside crimer on the bacon. I mean, can you imagine who's in charge of the bacon industry in there? No, the slicers will slice you up. If you take their bacon, they will slice you like zucchini. I mean, you probably sliced the zucchini family up. All right, so this is all leading up to this Corca thing. Okay, I guarantee you probably haven't heard this one. So Corca is this is what John is saying. Who is John Galt? John, not to be confused with John Galt, lobbyist for National Trade Association, work on supply chain issues. Okay.
Prioritize retail. If you don't prioritize retail,
so Corca is Combating Organized Retail Crime Act.
Theft, and you don't have a sophisticated team that knows what they're doing and can really unravel the organization and the crimes, then you're not going to win this battle. because they're becoming.
You know, Mark is the head of the Iowa Cornies. He's the it's the East Side Iowa people. Yes.
More organized. We as
He's eating a tomato so to fool you.
law enforcement need to meet the moment.
All right, this is past Corca. Okay, this goes a 50% increase in repeating shoplifter offenders, a 40% increase in ORC related shoplifting. Here, San Diego District Attorney Summer Stefan talk about retailers, how law enforcement and prosecutors must take a united approach against organized retail theft. So obviously the solution is more centralization. I'm being sarcastic. Kim Beach, stop Corca. Why is that? Don't expand retail surveillance. Never let a good crisis go to waste. Surveillance, problem. Price is going up. People can't afford. What is the conflict? All right, now we're bringing in people that steal things. Oh, let's take advantage. Never let a crisis go to waste. Past Corca. Now we can think it's about stopping crime when it's really about more surveillance. It says, tell Congress not to do it. Why? Reject Corca. No DHS where we work and shop. The Senate will vote soon on Senate Bill 1404, the Combating Organized Retail Crime Act, Corca, which sneakily ties to expand the role of the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, which is also an unelected, unconstitutional power grab. It should be disbanded and thrown into the ways of the dodo board, but we keep funding it into the local retail stores and domestic law enforcement. This and puts vulnerable communities at risk of being swept up by yet another federal surveillance machine powered by artificial intelligence. Disguised as a bill to combat organized retail theft, because just like about the kids, we got to make sure the kids are protected. Oh, wait, you got digital ID. In reality, Corca deceptively hands DHS broader authority to collect, analyze, and share personal information about customers and employees. Corca will mean more facial rec tech at Amazon and Walmart, more data sharing between the current regime and corporations, and more risk for Black, Brown, immigrant, and over police communities and people named Mark of being terrorized. Can't wait. Yay, can't wait. Well, we can't dress right for it either. I mean, you've seen the clothes that you have to wear to fight these cameras. I mean, there's clothes out there that will stop it from picking you up, but you look like a complete lunatic. Hennessy locked up, $200 dollar bourbon, not a risk. Protected by the Uzi. Let's see. Here's another one. Freedom for all. Corca, the so-called shoplifting bill, is not theft prevention. It gives federal organizations like DHS and the ICE the ability to monitor you and access your data through a surveillance pipeline with no limitations. Again, no, but how many have you heard any of the big names even talk about Corca? No, I don't know. I mean, I don't think so. I haven't seen them post about it. I haven't seen them in their titles or their shorts or anything like that. ICE arrests reach new high. ICE, baby. All right, stop. Arrest and listen. Arrest in June surpassed December's tally from Minnesota surge. July could be even higher. And I'm just not going to read it. And if you want to read it, everything's below in the show notes for you. I just want to try to keep this under 20 hours. Play.
Bizarre, so disturbing, it's gone viral online. Buyers are told they can't see inside, can't go inside, but they can buy it, then take their chances with the current occupant. Our Spencer Soysher was curious. So he went to none and met a woman fighting to hold on.
Going into Southern Walmarts is better drug than anything in the world. If you have a bad day and you think, you know what, I'm cashing in. You're on suicide watch, basically. Not saying you are, but you're just in the pits. You're at ground zero. You're at the bottom. Here's your remedy. Go into Walmart, especially in the South. Sit there and just relax. Just people watch for 15 minutes. You will come out better than a mimosa tincture shot will ever make you. You will come out going, I feel amazing now. I am great. I have a good life, a lease on life. I mean, you could have like literally lost everything, sit in the pits, your dog, your best pig just died, things like that. You will come out much better after you sit there and just people watch for a little bit. It's a good therapy. Yes.
To her small piece.
Get the
in
Walmart
Colorado.
calendar.
No interior photos. Sold sight unseen. No inspection allowed. Do not disturb the occupants.
The ad is unreal, right? Who would buy a home sight unseen with an occupant still in it?
Tori McMeechan is the occupant, mentioned in a bizarre and startling Zillow listing for a home in Nunn, Colorado, which tells people if you buy it, it's your job to get them out. Would someone be able to get you out?
It's going to be pretty difficult. I'm not leaving willingly.
Tori's husband died in a car crash amidst a nasty political dispute in town. People in Nunn know that story. People online just know the listing.
This is the last thing that my husband bought for me before he passed. This is where I raised my children.
This property has been part of foreclosure cases for more than 15 years.
The bank that has been unwilling to work with me as a surviving spouse.
Tori says her husband's name was on the loan agreement and claims the bank wouldn't speak to her or accept her payment because of it. So she hasn't paid rent since.
We took out the loan, the actual loan on this house in 06. In 15 years, 2021, this home would have been paid off.
Tori's been successfully able to appeal over and over again in court until she recently lost a court of appeals decision and the listing went up.
I don't know what else you do. I've had 3 attorneys that could not even get this straightened out. So what do you do?
Her last hope, she says, to be evicted, relying on a 2024 change to state law that guarantees evicted tenants a right to a jury trial.
We put a lot of work into this property.
She's still got pride in where she calls home. And with the listing up, she jokes she's not a half bad roommate.
I'm staying. They can come on in, but I'm not leaving.
So Tori says she's been able to pay the loan, but has dropped $60,000 on attorneys over the years. Property agent told me today he's listed thousands of.
Anyway, the reason why I put it on is what Colorado woman fights to keep her home as it's listed on Zillow with her still in it. New York PD reports hate crimes rise under Mandimi, more than half committed against Jews. In other unrelated news, happy crimes are up, or no, it went down 15% since Mandimi. So hate crimes are up and happy crimes are down. Valkyries, even if you don't know who the Valkyries are, good on you. You shouldn't. Is the WNBA. WNBA has a league. They sometimes play. I don't think they ever play when the people are actually up. A team in California called the Golden State Valkyries. Anyway, the Valkyries head coach Nally Nakasi makes strong statement on trans athletes in sports. I'm all about inclusive. Golden State Valkyries coach discussed her own experiences, including being excluded from sports when addressing Indiana Fever guard Sophia Cunningham's recent comments. Now, obviously not unrelated to Sophia. She could play, though. Natalie didn't shy away from giving her thoughts about transgender athletes. The Valkyries' second coach, for me, it's about belonging. It's about allowing everyone to be their authentic self. I'm hoping somebody goes to the Golden State Valkyries pretending to be a woman and absolutely just, well, I guess it wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be on the team because what you want is about 5 guys that beat up on their team so badly and then say, hey, it's about this inclusivity. just trash the team. I'm waiting for that to happen. I don't know why. Hey, my follow-up question to her would be, when are you letting guys start playing? Since Cunningham resparked the debate about transgender athletes 2 weeks ago by saying in an ESPN profile that she believed young girls in a locker room or young girls in sports shouldn't have to go against biological men. Sports world has entered another chapter in debate regarding trans women participation in sport. You think common sense, but not even common anymore. Asked about Cunningham's comments, Nikesi leaned into her own experience as someone excluded from sports in the past. I'm big on the just being that I've been criticized for my height, for my ethnicity. You think Muggsy Bogues had a talk to for my ethnicity? How many short white people get that way in basketball? I heard it all playing street ball. I mean, I'm about 6 foot tall. Back then I was probably about 5'10", 5'9", 5'10". Maybe a $130, maybe soaking wet. You don't think I heard stuff? Come on. Who's Japanese American? I've been in those you shouldn't belong here moments many times. I have never seen, first I haven't seen that many Japanese hoopsters. And if anything, it's usually the white guy that gets said that, which I loved because I was able to stick it to anybody that said that. It was great. It made me smile more and more when I heard it. And for me, I didn't want that space, especially Golden State, to ever feel like that. So I'm about women, little girls deserving to play, and that includes trans women, which aren't women. So I'm all about inclusivity. Nikesi is not the only coach that's spoken out. Minnesota Lynx coach Cheryl Reeve wore a trans kids belong shirt to the Fever Lynx game in Minneapolis on Sunday. After the game, Reeve and Cunningham spoke briefly on the court, and the conversation appeared somewhat animated. Recent Fever games, including today's, have seen protests outside the arena for and against. It's probably got more people outside protesting than they are inside the games. Reeve fleshed out her thoughts on the issue Saturday, telling reporters, I come from a space of inclusion. The narrative is that I think is problematic is to suggest that transgender athletes are the biggest problem in women's sports. This is what bothers us. There's a faction of people in our country that are making this mess. Come on. Start getting some men in their place. We need trans men to be in the WNBA. Shaq. You're now Shaquille. You go get in there and get in the game. Imagine someone like Shaq going there and say, I'm a tranny. He'd dominate him more than Wilt Chamberlain would. Steve, civil rights champion. I just noticed the name on the banking column. What about trans height players on stills? They're discriminating. Yeah, man. Like I said, Muggsy was 5'2" or something like that. Still was able to get in a dunk contest. Spud Webb. Remember Spud Webb? He was a little guy. Big fan of little guys. Below the Rim. There was a good hoops video called Below the Rim back in this like a 90s. If you remember VHS, it was VHS. Small Town. One of my favorite was Small Town. Was it Small Town? Was Small Town? Yeah. No. It was I can't remember the name of it, but they had Larry Bird. It was highlights to music. So obviously Bird was Small Town by John Cougar Mellencamp. Still remember the video like I saw it, I was 30 years ago that I watched that. Big Shackadilla. Shakizi? No, what would it be? She Shack. Man, I hope that there's, and I know it's bad as this. I'm not hoping that for that reason. I hope there's some guys that go start playing, because many guys been talking about that for years. Hey, when's the guys going to start going in? Get into WNBA. Let some guys get into there and see how inclusive they are. When you see guys start dominating their sport, accidentally hurting them, maybe. I mean, imagine taking an elbow from a guy. You're a girl. That done. Don't care who they are. I can never understand a biological man who becomes a bandit. Because there was how many guys back when this all was going crazy. There was a guy in England, I forget his name, but he was a power lifter, and he declared himself trans for about 34 minutes. So he went in and said he went in under the thing that I declare myself as a woman, and went in and destroyed every powerlifting record that the women had. And then after he got done with it, he went back and said, I'm a man again. The records still stand because he wanted to show how just insane all this was. And you're dealing with people that are off the rocker, and they're still off the rocker afterwards. Because I'm this. Well, I'm 7 foot. I'm the 7 foot center for the LA Lakers. Then maybe people will watch the NBA. Then all right, let's not go crazy, Hanno. Now you're smoking something. That ain't going to bring that anybody over there. I saw some highlights. Who was that? No, it was the. What was I watching? There was some kind of trade, I guess, and I went, who? July 2026 national poll. Democrats with 11-point generic ballot advantage. And one of the things was Pete Buttigieg, who is the fake left version of Scott Bissett, who is the other same guy. He's the same guy except for Team Right. He's taking the lead at the poll with 19%. Gruesome Newsom's at 17. John Ossoff at 13. AOC at 13. Kamala Cackle Harris is at 8. And everyone underneath her pretty much sucks even worse. Andy Beshear, Josh Shapiro, who's the only claim to fame, was going after the church under that summer of shame type deal thing. That's the only reason why his name exists. JB Prankster, Ro Canna, someone else is at 3. Undecided, and the asteroid is at 13%. Oh. If Gruesome can't even beat Pete Buttigieg, I'd quit. I'd move. I'd go to American Samoa and just learn down like Kamate. I lost the Buttigieg. That should be a song. I lost the Buttigieg. Oh, this was supposed to be my good news story. I forgot. I didn't play it up front. I wanted
on the year of
Mark. I don't want to care about running for president. El Presidomer. I want to run for in the state house, state seats, things like that. So I'm definitely not interested in the Zionist office, because you pretty much got to kiss the wall to get that.
I went to the nearest Catholic church and I said, I want to be Catholic. What do I do? On April 6th of 2016, I was welcomed into the Catholic Church on Divine Mercy Sunday, on the year of Divine Mercy. And that's not coincidence. There's no coincidences like that. I asked God, what do you want? What do you want from me? What ministry, what apostolate do you want me to do? I was really struggling with this, just really upset. And I just distinctly remember in my mind, God just saying, I want your heart. I want your heart. And that just set me so much at ease. And so I started looking at the Poor Clare communities. So that feeling of just surrendering to God, of course, it's joy. It's joy, it's excitement, and it's nervousness. It's a nice combination of the two. But there's, first and foremost, there's a peace deep in your soul. There's just this peace. It's all God's grace, and that is the sure sign to me that this is where I'm supposed to be.
The simple profession of vows for Sister John Marie. This is a wonderful occasion for us today. I am so pleased to be able to be part of this.
Lord, you have called me. Be it done to me according to your word.
Sister John Marie, what do you ask of God and of his church?
I now ask to be admitted to first profession in this community, to consecrate myself to God, and to live the gospel life of prayer and penance handed on to us by our founders, St. Francis and St. Clare. I, Sister John Marie of the Sorrowful Passion, Snow and Boss, vow to God before the witness of the Blessed Virgin Mary, living in obedience, in poverty, and in chastity, and I vow to observe enclosure.
And I, on the part of Almighty God, if you observe these things, I promise you.
Now, this is, as Bree says, from a Lutheran minister in training to a cloistered Catholic nun. This is part of the longer, rare interview with cloistered nun of the Poor Clare's Sister Jean Marie shares part of her
I was
story.
really little. I saw a movie and there were some sisters in there, and that was the only time I had ever seen any sisters. And I asked my mom one day, what do nuns do? And she said, I think they sit in church and they pray all day. And to me, I thought, oh, that sounds like something I would want to do. And she said, well, actually, only Catholics have nuns. Oh, okay. So that was the end of the subject. Well, in high school, I decided, well, I'll be a Lutheran minister. I'll go to seminary, Lutheran seminary. And I went out to Seattle, Washington, because I wanted to go where all the big culture is, all the fancy things are. So I went out there, and within the first month, I thought, this is not what I was expecting. I was just very overwhelmed, and I just wasn't happy. And I just couldn't see myself as being a Lutheran pastor. And I asked God, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? And another thing that I was struggling with was with the Lutheran Church and all the social issues that we're seeing today with gender and abortion and things like that. Who's telling, where can we get who has the authority to determine what's right and what's wrong? And I felt if I'm a Lutheran minister, I don't have the authority to do that. I don't feel comfortable doing that. And so I started looking at the Catholic Church because my dad's side of the family grew up Catholic, was Catholic. And I remember going to church with my grandparents, and there was just something about going to that church that was just there's a lot of reverence in that church, and that just felt there was.
Anyway, fantastic little interview. The first time I heard it too. It's 12 minutes long. Everything's in the show notes. Go check it out. Speaking of Catholics,
will stand with the Jewish people. Under President Trump, the United States will stand with the Jewish people. We have implemented a vigorous new visa policy that will prevent foreign nationals from coming to the United States to foment hatred against our Jewish community. We are holding international organizations and nations accountable for rhetoric against Israel that resurfaces in the manifesto of monsters like Iran and Sarah's killer. But we do see an eventual light at the end of this long tunnel of suffering. One can imagine a Middle East in which the Abraham Accords eventually reign. So thank you for the opportunity to address you.
Keep that Abraham chorus thing coming with the future news stories. Yes, most favored nation. You got to do it or we're done. kiss the wall or you're out. Wait a minute. We have to go to Israel to kiss the wall. The everyday ingredient wrecking your brain, liver, and waistline. Mark, pay attention. From ketchup to granola, fructose is everywhere. But experts warn that overconsumption can lead to various chronic diseases. Also, they just came out saying if you swim in water and don't breathe, you will drown. I don't know. You probably didn't hear that before. Also, coming up next week, they'll have a study. If you eat too much, like bonbons, and sit there and play PlayStation all day long, you will get fat. If you put an ice cube out on your car when it's 120 degrees, it will melt. Dynamite study. It's an incredible read. If you haven't thought about it, you will next week when they come out with it. Yes, fructose. Just don't. High corn fruit. Don't use. There's plenty of it. There's plenty of alternatives than it. Don't do it. I'm waiting for. I just went stupid. The red cone. I just sumac. There's poison sumac and regular sumac. It's been raining. Now we're in the rainy season, but sumac just came out, so I'm waiting for it to be dry for a few days and go harvest some sumac. And all you gotta do is grab like about, you see them as those red looking like fire cones. They're berries. What you do is you grab about 8 of them. I'm going to video myself getting those things. Grab 8 of them, make sure they're dry, and throw them in cold water. So probably about 8 for a gallon. Let it sit there overnight, and you got some pink lemonade the next morning. Connects the dots between Catholics Against Anti-Semitism Organization and the Fidelium Project. All right, I forgot. I'll take a look. I have to tell them, say, hey man, send me what you got. It's been a little busy. Spidey surprise. Brand new day lands top opening weekend ever with $360 million, beating Avengers Endgame. Apparently, I heard they spent a ton of money to do it anyways, but I don't know if it even has it in there. I heard it's a good movie. I will watch it whenever it comes out on stream services. I got that link's coming up soon. Grow your own lettuce, too. Trump says U.S. support for Japanese yen, a signal of friendship. Uh-oh.
Basically, and you're going to keep people from taking advantage of that, that deal, basically. And is there going to be a limit on the number of items that someone can take that are discounted at that level from that essential basket?
So our RFP makes very clear that this is a program for New Yorkers to be able to put food on the table, not a program for people to be able to make a quick buck through reselling. I'm going to pass it over to our EDC head, GPAC, to add some additional details.
Yeah, so if you look at our RFP for the operator, we are looking to make sure that we target New Yorkers, whether it be at sort of a library card-esque thing, and also we manage who's buying and that is focused on everyday New Yorkers. So we are mindful of that. And so we're going to make sure that we have all the things in place to.
It's kind of funny. This man, they want to protect the taxpayer-funded grocery store from non-New York City, non-New York City people. So they'll need an ID for it. I love it. This is wow. Talk about low information voter. Do these people interact with the general public? If they did, they wouldn't say stupid stuff like this.
Communism. We should go against the Constitution. You vote for him in 2028, Donald Trump?
Absolutely.
Even if it was against the Constitution?
To save this country, yes.
To save the country from communism. We should go against the Constitution.
Only if that is our last straw in the war.
Keep saying war. Where's the war? Where's the war?
Yeah. It's us against them.
Who's them?
The Democrats.
But what is that? Was there an actual war? Like Democrats, Republicans are neighbors.
Yeah. Do you remember the Civil War? I feel that coming if shit doesn't.
I mean, that's your Fox News voter right there. They're bad. I don't know how to explain it. You just know that's your typical voter right there. They watch Fox News, then the fake left is the enemy. Your neighbor's the enemy. You're in the fake right or fake left there, CNBC, MSNBC, then the fake right guys are the enemy. It's wildfires razed neighborhoods in the northwest U.S. city of Spokane. I've heard that a lot of Sedivacantists are out there as for prayers for a Sedivacantists property up there. I didn't know there were so many up in the greater Northwest. Even as San Francisco rent skyrockets, Santa Cruz is still the most expensive place to rent in these United States. How much you ask? I don't know. We will find out here shortly. A lot of stats. San Francisco metro area, some tall drop in rental market news. It requires 69.31 cents per hour in wages on average. It still comes about $12 less than someone to live in Santa Cruz. So Santa Cruz, you have to earn probably about $90 an hour to rent. That doesn't help. I mean, I get how much just tell us how much the price is. You have to make, I get how much you make. So they don't have a clear, okay, yeah, you make $90 an hour. Okay, so bartending is going to be hard. I wish they just told you a couple things. Anyway, well, sorry I wasted your time on that one.
It's not really a discussion we really have in our locker room. I think it's for leagues and the governing bodies to work with their athletes to find solutions, but our focus is on basketball, and that's what we talk about and how we can get wins. And obviously we didn't do that tonight. So need to find an area to improve in that way.
Do you have any, reaction to the?
I just answered for you.
So what happened is after the fever game, I should have had it over beforehand. They say she dodged the question on protecting women's sports. That's for the leagues and governing bodies to work with the athletes to find solutions. Matt Walsh says she might be the biggest coward in the history of sports. I actually kind of asked Matt if he was a coward for not saying anything about Ben Shapiro or anything like that about the Daily Wire. But hey, what am I going to say? Anyway, he says she refuses to say anything about the anti-white racism she's been subjected to since coming to the league. Then she punts on the trans question, which is the easiest question should ever be asked. No spine. Now, if you ever play ball and you lose, last thing you want to do is answer any questions about the game that you just lost. She looks like you play a game, you put it all out there, you lose, and you don't want to talk about it anymore. You want to pretty much watch the tape and burn the tape, move on. So they're catching them after a game that they just lost. And they ask them a question about a thing that has nothing to do with the game that just got them playing. So in that sense, as someone that played ball would go, I get it. I'd be like, who knows what I would say? I would just go, I don't care right now. I just want, what kind of question is that? Because you're mad, you're frustrated, and then you get a question out of left field that you weren't thinking of, and you're going, well, I get it. It's also a softball question. So hopefully you'll be able to answer that myself at the time. I'm not here now. Again, I'm not there. I'm not playing. I'm sitting here behind a mic talking about things. So it's easier when the armchair quarterbacks is easier to do. Those WNBA news and TV channel players are just pawns in a bigger game being played pretty much. So for Matt to say she's a coward for not doing it, it's again, if you get done with a game, you just want to talk about ball, maybe catch her next time after a win, catch her after a game. When you get done with close, go outside, check her out, call her up on the podcast interviews, things like that. After the game, you get in a question. What the interview is trying to do is just make a video, get a video of it. Yeah, Mark says she was pretty sick before the game. There you go. That add into that. Now you're not feeling well and you lose. You don't give a rip what anybody. You don't even want to be there. And you get asked that question. So for Matt to call her a coward, I was like, you know what, Matt, call out Ben Shapiro once, and then you can call her a coward, I guess. Once the future king Donald Trump is considering removing Jean Perillo, she used to be Judge Jean, I guess, the U.S. attorney for the District of Criminals, over a Justice Department conclusion that problems with the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool stemmed from a flawed renovation rather than vandalism. Two people familiar with his thinking told CNN. So Trumpy Dumpy is furious and is considering firing Perino over reflecting pool firing. She and MJ. Yeah, MJ played in a time when most people had common sense and weren't thinking, if you were to come into the league and try to be a tranny in that league, they would have beat you up. That was before the game started. Schiff and Kana revived the AI Ads Act with no parody carve-out. The bill extends federal fraud rules to AI-generated content, and Schiff's office says removes the requirement that a misrepresentation be shown damaging before enforcement can begin. So they're pretty much just taking the gloves off and doing whatever you want. Speaking of taking the gloves off and doing whatever you want, here is the Martyrs Walk. My bud Jason does this. The next walk is September 17th through the 18th, probably about 10 minutes away from me, maybe 15, over by the lake. Register early. This is pretty much like, well, you see it, a physical retreat. Spiritual, a little bit of silent, spiritual, and physical retreat, all wrapped up in one. Think about like a boot camp for Catholics. It's die to sin, die to self, live for God. Who, if you have the guts to go for it, come down here to South Kakalaki and join the Martyrs Walk. We'll have masses, we'll have confession. There's boxing. Well, I can't get into too much what they do, but yeah, come on down, see what you got, and then see if you come out. There's been I've heard a lot of stories about guys that came in lukewarm or having problems and come out better men for it. So definitely for men. Don't sign up as a trans man. This is definitely for men only, biologically men, and get into it. Speaking of Terminators, this vehicle drone show system can automatically charge, deploy, and launch drones with parts. Does he do it in other places? He's looking to bring it to other places. Yes, they've had inquiries about doing it in other cities across the amber waves of fuel. So yes, be on the lookout for that. Cuba plunges into darkness as the electric grid collapses for the 58th time in 30 days. It seems like. Get church over yonder quick. Yeah, something on Mike's show tomorrow. Call in and tell him to do the Martyrs Walk. Diarrhea lettuce, diarrhea lettuce is officially killing people now. 2 deaths were just linked to the parasite. Authorities are struggling to get the outbreak of the explosive. Poor choice of words. The explosive diarrhea causing parasite under control. If you have explosive diarrhea, you have other issues too. According to the CDC and prevention, there are more than 18,000 cases that have been confirmed or are being investigated across 45 states. Now, just to give you an idea, because they're doing nationalistic numbers. If there's 330 million people in the states, 18,000 cases is not a lot of people getting sick about it. But they're trying to be a big fair thing. And if this was a big case, why in the wide world of sports isn't there a run on toilet paper? You can go down to Sam's or Costco right now. There's plenty of toilet paper still available. But during the Rona days, everyone's grabbing toilet. You can't grab enough toilet paper. People were they had to limit you to 2 toilet papers, big ones that will last you a month and a half. 2 of them. You couldn't get more than 2. Limit you because everyone's hoarding toilet paper. It's like going out to the store and you have a jacket on. Hey, you got this teepee right here, 2-ply right here. Why in the world is there no toilet paper run for a thing that needs toilet paper? I do not get that. Yes, we should all trust the CDC. Yeah. And when I say trust, I mean not trust. I mean, definitely that whatever the CDC says, usually do the opposite and you'll be just fine. The old bread and sort. Yes, I'm still trying to figure out how in the why. I need to just stand by it. I want to go to, maybe I'll go to Sam's one day. Go question. Why is there no? How come no one's buying it? There's deadly explosive diarrhea causing parasite out there. Why is the toilet paper not being bought? Am I the only one that thinks that? I know. I'm weird. This just in: Atlanta homeowners are installing fortified cages around their outdoor AC units amid a surge in theft. I should have brought this to the theft thing. So people are now still in AC units. Good grief! Dude, how do you do that? I mean, obviously I know how you do it, but how you do it and then make it work afterward? You that a lot of work. You got to go in with a saw, and nobody hears that. You know what they're going to do? They're going to come out and steal the AC unit. That thing is down. You just can't just walk in someone's backyard and just unplug and take, can you? Maybe I'm crazy. I gotta go back there and see. Can I take this up? And how big is it? Where's the armed the organized crime on that one? The zucchinis on board on that. They do that on the side. We don't have to argue much with people who do not eat lettuce. A burger and French fries, however. Hey, what's wrong with a burger and fries? Come on now. I'll take a burger and fries. I will. Who do you want me to steal an air conditioner unit to get some burger and fries? Reclaim the net. A Texas judge just ordered Discord to turn on the age checks is built for the UK. Turn on age checks. It built for the UK. The same face scan, same ID uploads now for everyone in the state. Britain wrote the rule and Texas imported it. So a judge told them to turn it on. Texans will now have to show a face scan or government ID to access legal speech. Texas orders Discord to run UK-style age checks for state users. Stay off the lettuce for now. But you know what would be better? Lamb's quarter. You ever heard of anybody getting sick from lamb's quarter? Nope. You know why? Because lamb's quarter is one of the greatest things you could put in your system. All you have to do is get vaccinated for the burger. Oh yeah. No, you're right. You're right. After I said that, I thought about the former governor of New York, New Jersey. I'm sorry to say that. Yes, you are correct. Get a burger and fries. Just get the GBD jab. Crypto rover. This is insane. National U.S. debt just hit a record high of $40 trillion. Out of 45 U.S. presidents, Trump is now solely responsible for 28.6% of the national debt. Shannon says when the Democrats take power, the Republicans will suddenly be concerned about the debt. Bookmark this. And she is 1,000% correct. When they get done, when they're not in team power anymore, you'll see all of them suddenly embrace fiscal conservatism once again. They become amazing conservatives when they're not in power. I got a garden full of mustards and kale. Mustards are incredibly good for you. High in vitamin C too. Forget kale. Stick with the mustard. Stick with mustards. Oh man. Yeah, it's just the pots aren't doing such great. Trump, 5G and 6G are weapons for total body penetrating surveillance. We talked about this last week a little. Once the future king, President DJ Trump casually dropped the red pill bomb in front of tech execs. What does 6G do? Give you a little bit deeper view into somebody's skin. See how perfect it is.
So we're into 6G now. I just 5G. I was a leader on 5G getting that done. And now they're up to 6.
Let's do it again.
What does that do? Give you a little bit deeper view into somebody's skin? See how perfect it is? I like the cameras the old days. So they just had a nice feature. Now they cover every little. Let's see, Michael, you're in good shape. You're not gonna, but I tell you, it's
yeah. But somebody's said a little bit too much for the people. New 6G networks may be able to detect people through walls. Yes, we talked about this about a month ago about the Wi-Fi. That it can. That's why I turn your Wi-Fi off. People are using Wi-Fi to see where you are in your own house. Paul Gregory, the New South Wales police power to require the subject of a warrant to open their digital device for a scan is to be extended to routine arrests and stops. Police then download device content, which includes all past deleted encrypted messages. Oh, guess who started that? Israel. Jason Bastler, they can't stop crimes with cameras. They can't keep drugs out of prisons. They can't create order with more laws. Yet the solution is always more cameras, more laws, more enforcement, more control. Flock, Ring, and Atlanta network of more than 28,000 integrated cameras hasn't improved the city's crime clearance rates one iota, despite an 8-fold increase in the number of cameras integrated into the city's Connect Atlanta surveillance program. Crime clearance rates have not meaningfully increased, according to data collected by the FBI. So obviously we need more cameras. Flock, Thursday morning, police found that 5 of the town's 6 cameras had been reactivated by Flock with no notification of the town. This is in Littleton, I think in Colorado. Littleton, Colorado. Let's see. Air Road. Maybe, I don't know. Somewhere. Lowell's son. Let me see. The son. Littleton. It just says Littleton. Now, first thing I thought it was Littleton, Colorado. It's where the fraternity parish is. Because I lived in Littleton for a little bit, but it does not say the Sun. Crime and safety. Where is the Sun located? Maybe it's not. Anthropic. Where is the bada bing? Sports. Maybe sports will tell me where is it. Maybe, it's Massachusetts. Okay, so this is in Littleton, Massachusetts.
After
I
5
guess I could have clicked the next one where it says mass report. Yeah.
license plate cameras were reactivated without notice. Officials said no data was shared and police did not access any camera records. The town ordered the cameras powered down and is moving to remove the system. Flock safety cameras capture vehicle information for investigations, but privacy concerns have been raised over data collection and surveillance. Subscribe for more mass.
That's better advice than that. Subscribe for more mass news. No, you need to subscribe to Colin for more news. That is important. That will ruin your day. Jason Bassler, a California city just rolled out drive-by scanner. Say that again. Drive-by AI scanners that auto flag parking on dirt, overgrown lawns, unpermitted signs, cracked driveways, cracked rear views. Hooting the blowfish throwback right there. Vehicle violations, commercial equipment, peeling paint, broken fences. It's another song right there. Damaging roofs, automated obedience checks, not for crime, just for non-compliance. Rancho Cordova deploys AI cameras to find code violations across the city. That's in Sacramento, California. Here's Jason Bassler once again. If you've done nothing wrong, you've got nothing to worry about, they say. 71% of Flock alerts were false. One driver was stopped 6 times after Flock's algorithms mistook a 9 for an 8. Constant surveillance, constant suspicion. We are now guilty until proven innocent. This is from Business Insider. In one California town, Flock misread license plates in 71% of the alerts it sent to the police. Now, when you look on TV, notice what you're seeing. Flock did this. Flock did that. Flock found this girl. Flock found a puppy. Flock was able to cure cancer on this day. To that lady over there, we got to have Flock. They are pumping this out. Again, what's going to happen is that Flock is going to take all the bullets, and something worse is coming down the pipe. I had a dog that peed on my homework once. Did it eat it afterwards? Here's a great one. Wait a second. Who took this picture? Was it bait trap? Was the Flock camera being watched by another Flock camera? Do the Flocks have Flocks watching the Flocks now? Man, Pismo Beach man arrested for vandalizing public safety ALPR cameras in Monterey County. Monterey County office arrested Marcus B., age 40, from Pismo Beach, California, in connection with the intentional vandalism of at least 3 Flock safety automated license plate readers cameras located throughout Monterey County. So the arrow is pointing to the Flock camera that it hit, with a photo of what happened afterwards. It's a Flock inception. Where was this other Flock camera? Number 13. Really? The letter B, or is it B? This is just amazing. This is some good news. I forgot to put this in the title because I didn't have enough time to put it in the title. People are going after the 17th Amendment. Great idea. This is a great solution outside of secession. No one's bringing that up, but let's talk about the 17th.
17th Amendment broke a critical safeguard in the Constitution. As Samuel Johnston put it in 1788, as long as the state legislatures have it in their power not to choose senators, they can put an end to the general government by refusing to choose senators.
The states have the power. And that was a terrible thing they did, was to put that in. Anyway, so what, where's it at? Yeah, let's go put him back over here. All right. And this is why I had it here. Maryland Representative Andy Harris backs push to repeal the 17th Amendment. Fantastic. Repeal the 17th indirect Senate elections. Glory. It'd be an incredible thing to do. U.S. Representative Andy Harris is backing a proposed constitutional amendment that would end the direct election of U.S. senators and return their selection to the state legislators, because then the states would have to appoint people that actually be for the states. Reversing the system Maryland voters have used for more than a century. Harris, a Republican representing Maryland's 1st congressional district, is a co-sponsor of House Joint Resolution 198. Representative Kenneth Shelf, represented Texas, introduced the measure June 25th. It was referred to the House Judiciary Committee, where no further action was listed as of Thursday, July the 30th. Harris's district stretches from Eastern Shore to the part. Okay, who cares? What the 17th Amendment does, ratified April 18th, 1913, the 17th Amendment gave voters the power to directly elect their U.S. senators. Before then, senators were selected by the state legislators, and they were recalled if they screwed up. Yes, repeal everything from the 14th on. Yes, I mean, and because people go after women and the black vote, states were already okaying that. The reason why those amendments are terrible is because they federalized the election. They took the power from the states into their own hands. Wrong. The change follows decades of debate. Support grew as political disputes in some states left Senate seats vacant for months or even years. Just like, screw it, we ain't going. Critics have argued that political machines and wealthy interest had too much influence over the selection process. You wouldn't have the popular vote. You'd have to have somebody that actually did something good for your state. You wouldn't have somebody come in, vote for me and I'll get you money. That would be gone. And yeah, maybe people did do some weird stuff in the 1800s on it. It's not the 1800s anymore. Go back to the States. Let's see. That's a fantastic thing. If hopefully more jump on that one. Let me see. Okay, that's all you guys said. Yeah. Here is Jason again. This sounds like dystopian fiction. It's not. Anthropic AI ran a secret project called Project Panama. Buy millions of physical books, cut off the spine, scan every page, train AI on it, recycle the remains. It's kind of like the idea of what was I going to say? Kind of like the idea of why data centers need water instead of just putting it in the bottom of a lake or something like that. Same idea. Now all of a sudden AI needs these books, and then you trash the books. You don't need to do that. They're training the AI based on these books and then destroying the books that have been around for, I don't know, hundreds of years. Aaron Rodgers was on the Pat McAfee show blasting Fauci.
You were certainly having a time because your name was slandered. You were called a murderer. You were called a lot of things.
I was endangering my teammates and this and that. Now look what happened. They suppressed early treatments. They lied about where it came from. Tony Fauci's writing in his journal about, I don't want to create any vaccine hesitancy if I tell them what the actual stats are. How many papers have been written? How many McCulloughs and Malones and all the great doctors out there who actually did treatment on the front end.
And homeschool, Our Lady of Victory Homeschool, olvs.org. If you want to check out homeschooling curriculum, contact them at Our Lady of Victory School. If you know anybody that wants a homeschool, interested in homeschool, contact these guys. They have everything you need. 45 years experience, 100% traditionally Catholic, trusted curriculum, accredited, flexible, individualized support, open enrollments, affordable, self-paced study, and more. Video down here gives you the story, everything you need to know. Everything you want to know. Our Lady of Victory School for homeschooling. Commercial sea drone, where'd it go? Captures footage of Chinese warship in Philippine waters. Seems like more war going around, huh? Sally Agaris says, we're an occupied nation. We're not a nation. And why isn't anybody talking about secession after this? We have implemented a vigorous new visa policy. If you criticize Israel, you will not be granted a visa for the United States of America. Again, we should. Well, hey, Mark, there's still time to learn, man. Study it. Just take an hour out of your day and learn. You can do it. I was doing it almost every day, and then I just got busy, and I was like, I still got it in my head. I don't know it perfectly, but hit up my man Arrington. He will teach your family. Jonathan Arrington. Look him up. Hit him up. He teaches people online all the time. He'll do it. But yes, that homeschooling group is a fantastic group. I talk to them quite often. They love Sensus Fidelium. And yeah, hit them up. Let's see why WW3 happening. Well, WW3 has been happening for a while. It's technically the government versus its citizens. But yes, it is definitely all over the world now. I mean, even the Ukraine thing, that's trying to get involved in the Iran war. Ryan Christian, he is knowingly lying about this. As I pointed out on my show on May 9th, where I point out that their misdirection and dishonesty in their own press release and my follow-up on July the 23rd. Kennedy, RFKJ, nothing good has ever come from gain-of-function research. That's why we're ending federal funding for these dangerous experiments, strengthening overnight, and holding those responsible for it. They are still doing this. We talked about that.
I don't understand this because you're not a scientist, but
well, you're not either.
Genes don't cause epidemics.
I understand. Genes
They can provide a vulnerability.
A gene provides environmental. That's what I'm asking. Are you studying the environmental
We're looking
exposure?
at all the different environmental exposures, but your statement, you have been fooled. Your statement that this has been studied is not true. It's categorically not true. Not for any of this stuff.
It is considered.
Considered by who?
By every scientist who has studied this.
That is not true. I can give you hundreds of scientists who have looked at this.
So on the one hand, do you understand why people aren't getting
Academy of Sciences? What greater authority
do you understand why people are not getting measles vaccines? Because they're hearing you say that it could cause
You're trying
autism.
to change the subject.
I'm not. It's very much
Yeah, you are.
related.
Show me one of the studies that's been done on the first 8 the vaccines during the first 6 months of life. You will not find them. The National Academy of Sciences.
So if that's the case, then why are you telling people to get the measles vaccine?
Because that is one of the vaccines that has been studied.
Okay.
It's the only one that has been studied.
Do you want people to get the MMR vaccine?
Yeah, I said that already.
Okay, so
I know you're flustered now, and it is.
I don't.
RFKJ tells people to get the MMR vaccine. Let's see. All right, here's the Muslim part of the program. Fox 23, Council of American Islamic Relations, CAR, were plans to announce a lawsuit against the city of Broken Arrow in Oklahoma. CAR says it is filing a lawsuit against the city of Broken Arrow over the denial of a rezoning request for a proposed mosque. The announcement comes just days after U.S. DOJ confirmed it's investigating the city's zoning practices related to the same proposal. So somebody, I can't remember who, maybe I have it. Somebody was saying, hey, you can call for federal. Oh, here's one guy here. Our First Amendment is being used against us again. No, this is not a federal. This is not a DC. This is not First Amendment. It's nothing. This is whatever Texas or Oklahoma wants to do. If Oklahoma says no, go pound sand, then Oklahoma can tell them no, go pound sand. Hopefully, they'll still figure out federalism and tell them that they don't have to fall for the incorporation idea. Again, nationalism incorporation is cancerous. That is the problem. That goes with 2A people. You think, oh, 2A. No. Most of your states have an arms amendment. Hence why there's an arms amendment. If they didn't have an arms amendment, if the Constitution, why have states? Because if you call someone else a communist and you want to get rid of the states, what is that? It's the same idea. It's just you call it yourself something different. You want the states to be able to have some power here. 45,000 soldiers just took off the streets of Dearborn, just took over the streets of Dearborn. Tens of thousands fled in Michigan this weekend. A massive Islamic procession, victory parade. Our federal government turning a blind eye. Well, again, this has nothing to do with the federal government. This is 100% to do with either the city of Dearborn or Michigan. It's not stop the state from having a state. Again, yeah, Brock, exactly. That's what I posted that up the other day. If you want, you come out, anybody says we need a Christian nation. First off, it's not, if you're thinking globe, big thing, that's not a nation. But if you want your state to be a Christian nation, you can do it tomorrow. I just don't think anybody that says that they want that has the gumption to actually work for it, because you have to work for it. Because they know deep down that saying it in DC is not going to happen. But you can do it at you can do it at the local and state level, especially if you break up your states. I'm not a fan of what's going on with a certain group in St. Mary's, but St. Mary's could break off Kansas and become the Republic of St. Mary's, and it'd be totally cool. Do it. I don't know why they won't do it. Yes, Michigan's governor is a wackadoo. Yes, 100%. And people in Michigan need to run. People that aren't wackadoos need to start running and take out the wackadoo. Get involved. If your state has a wackadoo, be part of the solution for the wackadoos. Here's Gatlinburg.
Right in the middle of Gatlinburg. Oh, did you also know that they're building a huge one out in Wares Valley? They're trying to hide it. They're saying, no, it's going to be a shopping center with a drive-through beer store. But it's not. If you look at what it's going to be.
So apparently in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Gatlinburg is it's not the right song. Gatlinburg, Tennessee is apparently having a mosque. It says the Wall Street Ape says Islamic takeover in America continues. A new mosque open in Gatlinburg. There are new rumors of locals again marching to a much larger mosque being built near it. My thing is, you ever been to Gatlinburg? And many Catholics in Gatlinburg. They only care about one thing: Dollywood, and some other things go on. It's not like it's the most religious place in the world. It's in the Bible Belt, yes. Protestants, kind of, lukewarmer type deal things. So, I mean, what do you expect when people aren't doing it? You're going to have other people come in. So, I wrote a very Protestant area. People care more about the antiques in Dollywood than Christ. If you want to go to mass, it's a drive. I went to a mass there. It was a 30-minute drive to go to a TLM. I mean, I don't know if there was anything closer. I mean, on the Appalachian Trail, there's apparently a Catholic church off every exit on the trail. But I mean, I went to one back in the day that it wasn't a TLM, Happy Clappy Land, and I don't know if it's still that way or not. They had good carpet though. That's why there's so much modesty. Yeah, no. Didn't know about the mosque till now. Extremely crowded for a small city in Great Smoky Mountains. Yeah, they'll put it up anywhere. That's up to the people. I was just in Gatlinburg a couple weeks ago. Yeah, Gatlinburg's a nice place. Beautiful drive. Where we at here? Yeah, already had this. This is the Occupied Nation one from Marco Rubio. Here's the Whitey House talking about what happened with Quetta the other day. What's happening with Spain, with tens of thousands of illegal immigrants invading it, happened in the United States during Sleepy Joe Brandon administration, and it will happen again. Only worse if the Democrats, these spelled Democrats, ever again gain power. Don't let our country be destroyed. Vote Republican and be proud of the USA. Once a future king, President DJT. Now, the same Republican course that are running right now run all levels of government right now. But yeah, if you don't vote for them, this is what's going to happen. Yeah. Fake left with the fake right, always selling fear porn. I mentioned, talk about spend. They are helping with it, and then they'll you to vote with it. Yeah, they are literally helping this happen. And then say, vote for her. So they are literally running the federal government, and how is it going? This thing is as organic as the Rona. Talking about what happened in Spain, Morocco, or the corner of Spain. Speaker Mike Johansson. This is Marxism in practice. Open borders, eroded sovereignty, and unlawful immigration on a massive scale. Yeah. That they put together. What's happening in real time in Spain is exactly the future of the radical left and visions for America. Socialists are running Spain just as they would the United States. We must defeat the communist caucus Democrats, and we will. Even though the 10 planks of communism are all checked off already. So, but hey, they're the commies. And they're the only reason why, that darn Massey. I have Massey here somewhere. Yeah, here it is right here. Speaking of the devil himself, says Brock, and Coulter retweets Thomas. Massey's right. This is nuts. I had a joke tweet about Cuerta last week, but it's a major strategic outpost under Spanish control since 1580. Why the blank does Congress say Spain should be negotiating with Morocco over the future of Cuerta? Should we be negotiating with Mexico over the future of Texas? A friend of mine wrote me. This is like saying that, because I told her, it said it was no big deal because this was a psyop. And he's saying Panama and Mexico. And I go, no, actually, it would be Colombia and Panama because Teddy Roosevelt forced secession of Panama from Colombia. And then a couple decades later, U.S. sent Colombia payment for, we're sorry. See exactly what Kirk was saying before he was killed. As Massey said, don't fall for the fake Fox GOP outrage. 2 weeks ago, the House passed a bill that green-lighted the transfer of Spanish territory to Morocco. Every Republican except me voted for it now, but now they are acting shocked at the invasion. 2 weeks ago, they passed a bill that green-lighted the transfer of Spanish territory to Morocco. There is a committee notes that the Spanish administration cities of Cuerta and Melilla, forgive me, I said Cuerta a minute ago, are located in Moroccan territory and remain the subject of Morocco's longstanding claim. The committee continues assistance for Morocco in the support of United States national security interests and directs not less than $20 million under NSI and the National Security Investment Programs and not less than $20 million under foreign military finance programs. Final vote results. Republican, 215. Nay, Massey. Democrat, 1 yay, 208 nays. There's the link to the committee report for the bill containing the favorable language for Morocco with respect to the territory controlled by Spain. Yeah, I got all these right here.
Across the border from Morocco. The incident triggered chaos and sparked outrage across Europe. Stephanie Bennett is in London with more on that. Stephanie.
John, dozens of migrants died during the stampede, while many others drowned.
So Eric Donaldry, he's a cheerleader for MAGA, says the socialist Spain government is now claiming nearly all 60,000 African migrants returned to their home country after invading Cuerta, Spain. There's no way they were all gone because he knows either way because, whatever. Citizen homes were pillaged and it's still happening. A barrier has been installed in the water and the military is panicking, trying to quell the invasion. Remove this traitor from office and vote in a right winger. Now he's actually calling for regime change. He lives where? Where is Eric? Eric lives? Maryland. He's in Maryland, right? Maryland turned. Oh, he's in Florida. Okay, so he's in Florida. Now he's saying that they have to. Spain, a country on the other side of the globe, has to remove their leader because MAGA.
Every day, thousands of refugees arrive on this shore. Waiting to help them on the beaches of Greece are the last people the Syrians might expect. Volunteers from Israel.
We see babies which are only a few days old.
Israel, yeah, who knew? This is, like I said, this is organic. There's nothing organic about this.
Anybody better than the people that you have to stop illegal immigration in Europe. I know Europe better than anybody, better than the people that run it and have great relationships. Two things are killing Europe. Number one is immigration. Number two is energy.
Actually, number one is centralization. You end centralization, and everything gets fixed up. The problem is centralization. They unified everything over there too. They have problems because of that. Glenn Greenwald, a certain false narrative about what is happening. It was instantly consecrated yesterday by people who never heard of Cuerta, let alone could place it on a map. I'm pretty sure that all you got, everybody you know that was posting by it could probably eat 2 milkshakes on Sunday. Couldn't figure it out where that was. And it will never be uprooted no matter how often it's debunked. One of those zombies lies worth understanding. Here's power to the people. Power to the people. There's so much misinformation being spread about what's actually happening in Spain. One, migrants are not swimming or taking boats to Spain's mainland. Cuerta is a Spanish enclave on Morocco's northern coast. There's a video of them being on the truck right there. This is a coordinated effort by Morocco's government, seen in the video below, transporting migrants in trucks to Cuerta. Morocco's government aligns with Israel and the United States. So these efforts are more likely to punish Spain, most likely aimed to punish Spain for supporting Palestine and opposing the U.S. and Israeli war against Iran. Here's Dave DeCamp. Why, oh why, is the GOP so pro-Morocco? Israel-Morocco agreed to normalize relations in U.S. brokered deal.
From Morocco in the last 24 hours alone.
Okay, this has to be the most obvious and blatant CIA Mossad psyop of all time. First off, the area that we're talking about is actually a Spanish enclave on the continent of Africa. So quite easy, logistically speaking, to transport tens of thousands of people. Which, getting to the psyop part, Marco Rubio was literally talking about this a couple months ago, calling for Morocco to quote unquote take back their land. And who else was talking about this? Israel, of course, because the current government of Spain is anti-Zionist, so they want to sow discord, they want to create chaos in Spain to try to overthrow their government. Netanyahu's son literally tweeted about this. Okay, there's absolutely nothing organic about this crisis. So why is it happening? A, because they want to punish Spain for being one of the first European nations to recognize the state of Palestine. Spanish fans were literally celebrating their World Cup win a couple weeks ago by waving the Palestinian flag. So Israel and America, not happy about this. And B, despite Marco Rubio fomenting the initial invasion, the White House gets to now spin this as some sort of migrant crisis that is about to hit American shores because of Joe Biden and the Democrats, and also Marxism. This is a test for the American public. Will they fall for yet?
100%. Here's Ronnie, growing evidence that this was orchestrated. Jorge says the New York Times has spoken with several Moroccan nationalists who have said that they were encouraged to cross into Cuerta by the Moroccan authorities. Oh, yeah, let me. Oh, shoot, I had the wrong button. Anyway, it was Trump saying he deserves reparations. My apologies. Just had it out of order. This happened in 2023 for Israel. And while relevant is not the locations being discussed right now, I will go with this in the wrap up today. Israel recognizes Moroccan sovereignty over disputed Western Sahara. And proclamation of recognizing the sovereignty of the Kingdom of Morocco over the Western Sahara by the White House.
After more than 49,000 migrants reportedly surged into Spain's North African enclave of Ceuta, social media users began asking a bigger question. Was this only a migration crisis, or is there a wider strategic story unfolding behind it? The speculation centers on Morocco's increasingly close relationship with Israel. Over the past few years, Morocco and Israel have expanded military cooperation through joint exercises, defense agreements, intelligence coordination, and arms partnerships. Now, another claim is drawing attention. According to multiple reports, after Spain reportedly refused to allow ships carrying weapons, ultimately destined for Israel, to dock, those ships were instead accepted by Morocco. That has fueled fresh debate over Morocco's role in supporting Israeli logistics. At the same time, another major factor has changed the regional picture. With Houthi attacks disrupting shipping in the Red Sea, Israeli maritime routes have become more dependent on access through the Strait of Gibraltar, one of the world's most important maritime choke points, even more strategically significant. And Ceuta sits right at the entrance to that strait. Because of this geography, some online commentators are suggesting that the sudden migrant surge into Ceuta could carry geopolitical implications beyond migration itself. However, this is where facts and speculation must be separated. There is currently no public evidence showing that the migrant influx was coordinated to support Israeli military interests or connected to Morocco's relationship with Israel. Likewise, no official government has linked the events in Ceuta to weapons shipments or maritime strategy. What is true is that Morocco and Israel have significantly strengthened defense ties in recent years. It is also true that disruptions in the Red Sea have increased the strategic importance of the Strait of Gibraltar for global shipping. But connecting those developments directly to the migrant surge remains speculation without verified evidence. For now, the theory continues to spread across.
Yeah, because I mean, it's not going to have like any paperwork right there.
A diplomatic war of words has erupted between Spain and Israel as a massive migrant crisis in Spain's North African enclave of Ceuta spills into an already tense relationship over the Gaza conflict. The controversy began after a sharp exchange on social media between Spanish Transport Minister Oscar Puente and Israel's ambassador to the United Nations, Danny Danon, triggering political speculation over whether the latest migrant surge was merely a border crisis or part of a wider geopolitical confrontation. The row comes as tens of thousands of migrants, with estimates ranging from 50,000 to 60,000 people, crossed from Morocco into Ceuta by land and sea within a short span, overwhelming Spanish security forces and emergency services. Spanish authorities deployed military units to restore order, while reports indicated that dozens of migrants lost their lives during the dangerous crossings. Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez described the unprecedented influx as an attack on Spain's territorial integrity, blaming organized trafficking networks and calling for stronger border controls. But the political controversy escalated after Israeli UN Ambassador Danny Danon posted a pointed message on social media. Danon criticized Spain for frequently condemning Israel over the Gaza conflict, while asking why Madrid continued to maintain what he called colonial enclaves in Africa, referring to the Spanish territories of Ceuta and Melilla. The Israeli diplomat suggested Spain should first answer questions about its own territorial policies before criticizing Israel on international platforms. Spanish Transport Minister Oscar Puente responded with a brief but widely discussed remark. Quoting Danon's post, Puente wrote in Spanish, "Well, it all seems to be becoming quite clear." The statement immediately fueled intense speculation. Some politicians, commentators, and social media users interpreted the remark as hinting that Israel could somehow be exploiting.
Yeah, you want to check it out? It's all in the show notes. Here's Gen X Girl. Let me see.
Okay, guys, let me explain what is going on because
Drops a little bomb word there.
situation with Morocco and Spain. Okay, so what's important to understand is all roads lead back to maritime access for Israel. Israel currently has 6 ports. 5 of the ports transit through the Mediterranean into the Straits of Gibraltar, and 1, Eilat, transits through the Red Sea, going through the Bab el-Mandeb. Prior to the Iran war, Israel was also receiving imports for natural resources like oil and gas through the Straits of Hormuz, going through the Red Sea. So 6 days after the US and Israel launched a war against Iran, Iran banned all ships bound to Israel and the US coming out of the Straits of Hormuz. On June 8th, the Houthis of Yemen joined the blockade and banned all ships going to and from Israel that transit through the Red Sea and the Bab el-Mandeb, similar to what happened in 2024 and earlier in 2025. So now Israel is limited to only one maritime access route through the Mediterranean. But there is a risk involved because similar to the Bab el-Mandeb, is a choke point for the Red Sea, and the Straits of Hormuz, which is a choke point out of the Persian Gulf, the Mediterranean has a choke point, which is the Straits of Gibraltar, which is controlled by Spain. Spain is a problem for Israel because they have taken steps to break diplomatic ties with Israel. Even more important is that they have also restricted arms shipments to Israel because of the Gaza genocide. Spain barred U.S. military vessels and aircraft carrying weapons or munitions destined for Israel from utilizing Spanish military facilities like Naval Station Rota and Marone Air Base. Spain also restricted its airspace and denied use of joint bases Rota and Marone for U.S. military assets linked to operations and strikes against Iran. So where are Rota and Marone located? Right on the Straits of Gibraltar. So if you're Israel and you need to regain control of this access point, what do? You look for allies who are willing to support your genocide and your war in Iran, like your Abraham Accords partner, Morocco. Then you get your allies in the US government to push to have Ceuta and Melilla, Spanish Moroccan territories, redesignated as Moroccan territory so that you can have greater control over the Straits of Gibraltar. You even get members of Congress to allocate funding for this endeavor. But because you need public support from Europeans and Americans, you orchestrate a fake migrant invasion into Ceuta. And then you claim that these migrants are reaching Europe and this is a public crisis. Except the narrative quickly fell apart as footage showed Moroccan police, allowing the migrants in, and in some cases, inviting them to cross the border. Reporting showed that these young boys under the age of 20 were encouraged on social media to go to Ceuta. In some cases, they were told that the Spanish government wants them to come. Then precisely 24 hours later, the White House releases a statement. The United States has been clear. We recognize Moroccan sovereignty over Western Sahara, and we support Morocco's serious, credible, and realistic autonomy proposal as the only basis for a just and lasting solution. Any other path prolongs the status quo and is unacceptable. The urgently needed solution will only bring peace to the region, but prosperity and greater integration for all of Africa. This dispute must end now, and the United States will continue to drive progress towards that end. So what does Western Sahara have to do with the Straits of Gibraltar? Well, it extends Moroccan territory. It literally makes Moroccan territory from the Straits of Gibraltar all the way down further south, securing maritime access through that whole region under Morocco, a U.S. ally and an Israel ally, Abraham Accords member, and a country who has a military security agreement with Israel. So the moral of the story, boys and girls, is that another weekend passed by, and
yeah, just another psyop. Like I said, again, send this around. This is in the show notes. Send it around to anybody that doesn't believe what's going on. And remember, they were saying they were showing, hey, it's a bunch of women and children, a bunch of families, and they were, remember right off the bat, people were saying, I don't see any women and children coming through. Yeah, this was all planned out. There we go, another one.
And Israel's relationship is moving beyond symbolism and into strategy. More than 5 years after normalization under the Abraham Accords, analysts say the partnership is now built on shared history, defense cooperation, technology, and concern over Iran's expanding reach. On the U.S. 2027 defense bill, there's a 10-year plan to deepen American defense cooperation with Morocco, including drones, joint sites, and expanded military exercises. So the bigger picture is the fact Morocco is increasingly being seen as not just an Abraham Accords partner, but a Western strategic anchor for both Israel and the United States. For more, we're joined now by Dr. Mohammed Shtatou, political analyst.
Anyway, you see, so, I mean, great googly moogly. And one reason I'm bringing this up is how many of our boys are out there talking about this? None of them. Even the Holy Father is sort of like, I mean, the Holy Father is not going to listen to alt media. I don't know if he watches I-24 News English. So, yes. And then everyone goes into team party sports. He's a globalist. He's not. He's this. He's that. And then all of a sudden, in the Catholic talking heads are going, oh, look at what's going on. This is why you need it. None of them are bringing any of this up. Here's a Hungarian conservative. Payback for Sanchez defying Trump and Israel? Maybe. Again, all these are in the show notes if you want to check it out. There's more from back in the day. Morocco, Israel agreed to expand military cooperation. This is from, I can't remember where the hell is this year? 2024. Okay, so August of 2024. Here is fueling the machinery of genocide, Morocco's backdoor support for Israel's war on Gaza. That's back in 2025. Here is Morocco and Israel will collaborate on military intelligence systems. Algiers tries to catch Morocco in drone race. Morocco will be the first African country to manufacture drones. This is back in 2023. Now, when it wasn't like I went for hours trying to find this. Literally, this took me about 45 seconds to find these links. A look at Israel's decades-long covert intelligence ties to Morocco. Jerusalem secured weapons for Morocco and allegedly helped to kill an opposition leader, while Rabat has been credited for helping Jewish state win the 6 Days War. This is back in 2020. Israel and Morocco bolster cybersecurity and intel ties. Hey, the two countries also agree to expand cooperation in air defense and electronic warfare. The Royal Moroccan Armed Forces say this was back in 2022. Where is it at? I think 2022. 2023. At least 2023. There's a photo with it. The first annual ministry here. There's a photo of them. See, Wall Street Journal, high stakes Michigan, primary test, progressive clout and Democrat direction back over on this side of the pond. The Mercury new database tracks over 5 billion with a B in foreign money funding American politics. Yay. That's for both fake left and the fake right. California, Arizona, and Nevada could face water cuts from the Colorado River under federal proposal. Gotta love the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation. California billionaire tax wins support from the state Democratic Party. Endorsement of the ballot proposal at party meeting comes despite deep divisions among major Democrat figures. Democrat socialists face a prove-it moment in battleground Wisconsin. We talked about her last week. Yes. Sorry, I'm moving a little bit more quicker. It's almost a 2-hour limit. I still got plenty of links to go. I haven't touched on Iran yet. Taco time is coming. Loomer's Ukraine reversal, deepened split in Trump's America First movement, influential MAGA blogger, and former Kiev critic Laura Loomer took the money whenever she goes with wherever the paycheck tells her. Expects to visit the president to advocate for a U.S.-Ukraine alliance. Laura? Furious Trump is considering removing Piero over reflecting pool filing. Sources say he's furious with Piero. Telling CNN that he fumed about her all weekend. Yeah, I'm calling. I don't think it really happened. Urgent warning as Gatwick Airport running out of fuel amid summer holidays. Somewhere in United Kingdom, UK's second largest airport could face a fuel shortage. Running out of fuel. Zelensky's World War III masterstroke, how drawing Iran into Ukraine war could spell doom for Putin's invasion with Trump's help. Didn't Trump say he was going to end the war the first day? Now it's what? Now they're entering the Iran war. Russia sends World War III threat to attack U.S. and UK. Quote, we can kill you anytime. And I say back to Putin, just worry about D.C. Yeah, no beef with you. I don't think the Carolinas have any beef with you guys down here. Just, ain't us. Man, we ain't for it. Breaking news, doomsday fear explode as 3 chilling cosmic events collide on the same day next week. What would that be? Let's see. Let's see. What are the 3 things? A total solar eclipse, okay. The peak of the meteor shower, Perseid meteor shower, and a 6-planet parade will all take place on the same day, creating what many online users have dubbed the universe's triple feature. That's literally doomsday. I don't think it's doomsday, but it'd be cool. Here's Israel is the second cyber superpower in the world, says war criminal Benjamin Netanyahu. Trump slams Chevron CEO, demands immediate reduction in U.S. fuel prices. Says the guy who's destroying the oil company. And Trump claims Chevron's success stems from his policies, calling for urgent reductions for U.S. fuel prices for consumers. Yeah, what kind of ism is that called when you're telling public companies what to do? Demanded that oil companies lower gasoline and petrol prices for American consumers. Wait till he puts his number, like an order behind it. Stock market news: Dow notches record close. S&P 500 and Nasdaq log third straight day of gains. Oil prices, treasury yields fall on signs of U.S.-Iran de-escalation. Because what was it? Friday, Trump's out there saying we're going to pretty much terrorist and create war crimes. And then Monday morning, he's, oh, no, we're not doing anything. And market manipulation happens yet again. It's almost like you have to be blinder than Ray Charles not to see it. Trump frequently announces he's halting strikes in Iran, but they keep happening. Trump's on again, off again war against Iran in his own words. Oh, they go through all that. March 21st, 27th. You've seen the videos. Oh yeah, this is still one of my. This is what.
Hey, Orange Pig, America first. Oops. Oh boy, that was the slogan you sold. But Bibi's pulling strings and your vote is getting cold. We're not just fighting for Iran. Hear this clear. Your people reached out to us. Yeah, we got the DMs here. If one nation's gonna stand against the Epstein regime's fear, it's us till the last breath. We've been doing it for years. We're standing here for everyone. Your system ever wrong, they've known all along. The enemy was always you. The real threat wore a suit and sung a patriotic song while selling their own citizens and calling it strong. strong. Stealing from your own people, making them bleed, taking tax dollars just to fund your own greed. They waking up to the lies, the illusions of birth. You screamed America first, now you put losers first. Make Israel great again. Your government is run by pedophiles. They ordered you to die for Israel. They ordered you to die for Israel. They lied to you all.
Anyway, I couldn't help myself. It was floating around. I go, yes, I was looking for that. Iran denies Trump claim new peace talks planned after U.S. calls off attack, because Trump said, hey, we call them up. And I wrote something like, Alex, I want things never happen for 1,000. Trump, U.S. is locked and loaded and ready to go against Iran at level of military terror. Strength and power not seen since WW2. This caught a lot of people at the levels of military terror. What does that mean? We don't have that. I didn't have the thing. Here it is right here. Military. He literally said terror. Now, one guy from the Air Force goes, well, war is always terror, but that terror, we now terror. And he goes, it was a former colonel, I think, in the Air Force. He goes, are we now terrorists? I mean, that literally what it read. He goes, I read that as we are now terrorists, because he's actually talking about, blowing up, desalination, salinization, water plants, energy plants. He goes, you start focusing on those things, you're going to destroy the civilization out there. It's literally war crimes.
But this desk is like a blocking desk. No matter who gets in. If it's bad, I block. And I'm good at blocking. If it's bad, if it's stupid things like the things they want to do, we want to. Hopefully they'll come to their senses. So they called me and they said, please don't attack. We'll make a deal. That's the real truth.
That's what I said. Things that would never happen for 1,000, Alex. Ain't no way they called.
Strikes in Iran at the last second and has announced all parties have agreed to final points of a deal.
We just made a great settlement of the war with Iran, and we're going to be subject to finalization.
Patriot Blonde. Trump announces the war with Iran has been won again for the 234th time. Trump want to give Iran last chance before decapitation at 4:01 p.m. on Friday. I don't believe you. That's why I was like Taco Monday again.
He's going to charge, we'll charge. We're the one that has total, we have total control. We have a thing called a blockade. If we're not talking, when you ask me, no, we're not talking, I'll say it. But we are talking right now. We're talking, and we're talking at the request of Iran, backed by Saudi Arabia, backed by UAE, and backed by Qatar in particular, but others also. Many countries.
Check out anymore.com. Generals singing in their masses, just like witches at black masses. U.S. to expand presence in Somalia's Basaso. Trump lashes out at Iran over a negotiation claim. Board of Peace walks back key part of Gaza deal. Israel demands Hezbollah cede strategic ridge, and Ukrainian drone kills 7 on Russian beach. Back to sports. The Statue of Liberty emerges in Iran amid chilling threats. So then that's a new. They're doing great rap videos, and they've been doing solid marketing on the posters. Trump under fire for wearing inappropriate dress to a funeral. What did he wear to the funeral? Oh, Laura Trump. Okay. Trump says Iran facing last chance before decapitation. We already saw that, but hey, just in case you didn't believe me. And this day in history, 1492, Columbus starts sailing the ocean blue. The Natalis voyages below the North Pole this day in 1958. Stanley Baldwin, first Earl Baldwin of Beauty, Boudley, was born on this day in 1867. 2004, French photographer Henri Cartier-Bresson died at age 95. I have no idea. If he slapped me up the side of the street right now, I wouldn't have a clue who he is. 1992, American revisionist Western Unforgiven had its world premiere. 1984, Mary Lou Retton won the all-around event at the LA Games. Everyone remembers that one. 1941, American entrepreneur and domestic lifestyle inventor Martha Stewart was born. Now she's just good old friends with Snoop. 1934, at the Olympics in Berlin, American track athlete Jesse Owens won the 100-meter. 1921, a day after being acquitted on insufficient evidence, largely because key evidence had disappeared from the grand jury files, 8 of the Chicago White Sox players were banned from baseball for life, accused of receiving bribes and intentionally losing the 1919 World Series to my Cincinnati Reds. Yes, the Black Sox scandal of 1918. Oh, 1919. Shoeless Joe Jackson. I have a statue of him over there behind. You can't see it. It's behind that the Our Lady of I just went dumb. It's what's the name of it? Oh, Loretto. The Loretto image. Shoeless Joe. He was from Greenville, South Carolina. 1900, American journalist Ernie Pyle, was it any relation to Gomer, was born. Hopefully someone got that. 1778, the Opera Lighthouse La Scala opened in Milan. This was a long one. I told you I was hoping to get this thing could go on for days. Anyways, have a great rest of the night. Click like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz in the show notes. Have a great rest of the night. I will talk to you on Hump Day. I'm going to go stop talking for at least the rest of the night. I got stuff to do on here, but at least I don't have to talk to anybody. Anyway, have a great rest of the night. God love you. Thanks for hanging out, and talk to you later.